Well, hello, I'm Florine and welcome back to the last episode of Raising Children on APSU TV. Each of these shows has brought you parenting tips and special insight on children and their thoughts. As parents, we need to love, guide, support, pray for, and educate our children. I have a 7-year-old myself, and I have realized that I don't always have the answers needed. So on today's show, we are going to discuss a place that you can take your entire family called the Customs House Museum and Cultural Center. This is a place that many parents don't even know exists, and even some aren't even aware that how close it actually is. Many parents are going to be very surprised by the end of the show. This also leads to the fact that most families across the United States are being tested heavily on how to be together as a family and do an activity all together. That's not including TV or video games. So today we are joined by Miss Naomi Conner, Marketing and Special Events Coordinator for Customs House Museum, to give us some insight and information to help us train ourselves and our families on how one place can bring us together. And it will all be for the better and give us insight on how our city has a whole new light. We will also discuss how the Customs House Museum provides more opportunities for both parents and their children to get and receive amazing hands-on learning experience in all aspects of being a family. So thanks for joining us today, Miss Naomi.
I'm happy to be here.
I'm so glad. So tell me a little bit first, what is the Customs House Museum?
Well, first and foremost, it is a museum, but we are a place where we serve the arts, the history, and heritage of Clarksville and Tennessee in general.
Wow, okay. So who particularly, I know it said it's for the family, but is there anything else or anybody else that can come for the Custom House Museum?
Anybody can come. We have students that come from Austin Peay to do research on, or maybe to view the art shows. We have students just going to regular public schools, just to walk around and see what they can find out. Parents bring their children to go downstairs in one of our galleries, which I know we'll talk about soon.
Yay.
So it's really for everybody. We don't. We call ourselves a little something for everyone.
Wow, a little something for everyone. How about that? That's exciting. I don't know about you guys, but we'll be back with more after this break.
All right, so you're at the game, cheering like a madman when you realize you're the only one screaming, "Let's go Pete," and the guy to your right is giving you a serious stink eye. And that is exactly why you need to join the Govs Club. For as little as $100, you can get VIP parking and primo seats with loyalty maniacs who will help you cheer, heckle, and high-five your way through every minute of high-flying, heart-pounding, edge-of-your-seat Govs action. Get in the game, get in the Govs Club.
You're a lot of different people. But you can be one more.
What was your excuse?
I couldn't make it to classes on campus.
I didn't want to be the old guy in class. I didn't think I could afford it with my GI Bill benefits.
Work was my excuse.
Austin Peay State University is putting an end to the excuses.
You've been in that desk for years, waiting for the next bell to ring. Now it's time to stretch your legs and your limits. Get up, get moving, get on with your life at Austin Peay.
Let's go. One in. Go. Let's go. Come on in. Got a lot more room here. Go. Come on in.
Well, before the break, we were talking to Miss Naomi Conner, Marketing and Special Events Coordinator for the museum. She actively reaches out to various organizations, local businesses, and schools in our community, creating awareness for the museum as well as promote quality of life programming in the downtown Clarksville district. Ms. Conner is a graduate from the University of West Florida with a degree in studio arts and art education. And when moving to the area, she worked as a marketing director for, guess what, Chick-fil-A, which led to her to become where she is today. I'm kind of excited about that. So did you enjoy working at Chick-fil-A?
Yes, it's a great experience because the Chick-fil-A concept and philosophy is it was eye-opening, and the community that they create within the course is a good thing to carry with you throughout your career.
That's awesome. Well, I like Chick-fil-A because of the respect that you do deserve a day of rest, and they're closed on Sundays.
Yes, thank you.
As much as I would want to maybe stop by and get some chicken nuggets.
I know. I like a day off too.
Yes. Okay, so back to the museum, everybody. So let's talk about the museum in regards to children. What does the museum do for children?
Well, and see, to me, that's a tricky question because, you know, parents first and foremost, they think of, oh, what kind of play areas do they have? Where can I just send them and they can just do their thing?
Right.
But what the museum has is, you know, an opportunity to take your children and walk them through the galleries, teach them how to research and how to look for little details, in which a lot of people won't take the time to do. Right. But if we don't educate on how to do that sort of thing, then they're just always looking, oh, where's my phone? I can find the answer that way, but without that physical connection and emotional awareness. But of course, we do have areas for the children to play down in our Explorers Gallery. That is an opportunity for the parents to kind of take a break and let them you know, do their playtime. But I definitely do encourage to not just go straight downstairs to that Explorers Gallery, but to walk and talk about art and talk about, you know, the things that have happened and have those questions come up.
When should we, as parents, because, you know, children oftentimes can't take themselves, but when should we start bringing our children to the museum?
Well, if you would ask C. Lewis, our education director, she would say, bring him as a baby. Just go ahead and bring him in, because that is how we start to teach them and educate them on how to walk in spaces, how to not touch certain things so we can protect them, but also to you know, make those connections with that happen in their real life that may happen in, you know, the history. We had a little boy yesterday, and I told him, tell me one thing that you learn when you come back, and he told me something about Wizard of Oz. So that's the secret.
Okay, so I'm getting a little excited. Okay, Wizard of Oz. We can't talk about that yet, but it's coming. It's coming. Okay. So, now for adults, as you said, for the children, it's kind of a hands-on activity thing. But for us as adults, you know, yes, I'm bringing my child, but is there something for me that I could possibly do at the museum?
Absolutely. Because when you, first of all, this past year, the city of Clarksville has not had a dedicated exhibit towards how Clarksville came about. So now we have a place called Becoming Clarksville, honoring legacies of leadership. And that is where you can learn about the city that you live in and how it came about and the people who made that happen. And the cool thing is that you'll recognize names that are still in our today, still making a difference through their family name. So there's the history, the heritage, and the arts.
Well, I used to always say that I didn't like history, but I might, just because I want to know how Clarksville came together, go down and check that out. Now, as far as the museum, how did the museum actually itself get a start?
Well, and this is what I found out. It's actually, I call it a baby, because it was actually born in 1984. And sometimes you think they've been around for a long time. But the famous building that has the funky spires on it that everybody's like, that doesn't make any sense. It was the Department of, first the Postmaster's Office and a Customs House, but then the Department of Electricity took it. And when they left that building to grow, you know, into a bigger building, that's when the city of Clarksville decided that we needed a museum. And so it was called the Clarksville-Montgomery Historical Museum, and it just had the history of Clarksville and Tennessee.
Wow, okay, so baby steps.
Yes, it was a baby first. And then in 1994 is when they decided to expand it because they wanted to also offer the arts.
Okay.
So at first it was just the history, and then went into the different art galleries.
Ooh,
so and that just happened in '96. So it has not. Of course, in my world, it's not too long,
right.
but other people will be like, oh, that's ancient.
Yes.
So,
right.
yeah.
For me, I'm with you because
Yeah.
we know that.
Yeah.
Okay, being biased, that the best decade is the 1980s, but I'm
thank
just
you.
going to throw that out there. As far as parents, you said that it was important for us to bring them there, of course, like you said,
Yes.
starting as a baby, as
Yes.
Ms. Sue had said. The importance of that really with the not touching, not, know that this is kind of sacred in essence.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it so important that we start I guess with them with that? What is your opinion on that?
Well, as we get older, we are very tactile we want to touch everything.
Yes.
So teaching that, and some, I don't know if Miss Manners is even still something that people talk about,
right.
but you would be amazed at how we just want to put our hands on everything, and those oils that are in our skin can tear things apart. And as things fall apart, we lose that part of our heritage.
Yes.
So it's very important just to teach about respect of the property, and then also that this is on loan to us. It's not actually something that we own.
Right, right.
And if we don't teach it at a young age, because I just want to touch everything already.
Right. Yeah.
Then, it just has to be taught as a manners.
Yes,
respect
and it's interesting that Miss Naomi says this because as everybody knows with this show, that's something that we teach, is that we as parents are the teachers, and so early and teach them about respecting not just themselves but other people's things as they mature, especially like in the museum, then they will be able to respect others.
Yes, and I mean, the great thing about that too is that we also know that you want to touch things and you want to explore and you want to feel, so we have those opportunities too.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so now the big question, which I know everybody wants to know, is how much is it going to cost me to take my youngster?
$1 million.
Oh my goodness.
No, it is $7 for adults.
Okay.
$5 for student age, college age students and seniors.
Okay.
$3 for students ages 6 through 18.
Okay, not bad.
And then free for 5 and under.
Okay.
So a family can come in and have a couple hours of activity for very, very little.
Yes.
And we also offer membership.
Ooh,
and
membership.
so a solo membership free for an entire year is $25.
You everybody hear that?
Yes.
$25.
$25.
I mean, that's like a tank of gas.
Yeah, and
For some.
Free for the whole year, free for all the programs, all the things that we do. You get invited to all of our receptions.
Wow.
So, if you want to wear a nice dress and do something a little different, have a date night, that's also an opportunity. And then, to come downtown and experience that. So, in military families, $30, and general family is $40.
Nice.
So for a whole year,
yes.
can't beat it.
You sure can. Okay,
No.
well, I'm going to make sure that my husband
Yes.
knows about this, because
Check.
we're a military family, and we might have to, yes, like you said, put a check in the box and go ahead and sign up and get that
Yes.
membership.
Yes.
And, okay, now I also researched a little bit, so parents, bear with me, but I also saw that there's a possibility to come in free.
Yes,
Oh,
there is.
free is good. We
Yes,
like
and
free.
I will. Free is every Saturday.
Okay.
We are open from 10 to 5, and that's an opportunity to come in, see what we have to offer, experience the galleries, and it's a very popular day to come to the museum. And then also coincides with some other things that are going on downtown too.
Absolutely.
So you can make a day of it.
Yes. Okay. Well,
Yes.
you might
Every
want to make a
second
day.
Saturday.
Yes, exactly. Especially, like you said, just at least getting the opportunity to come and explore it.
Yes.
And then that way you can say, you know what? Yes, sign me up when you finish taking your tour,
Yes.
and go ahead and get the membership, like you said, with the
Yes.
discounts. I like discounts. I don't
I
know about you
know.
guys, but that is a little freebie. But it's still a good deal
It is a
for all
great deal.
ages. For all
Yes.
ages. So
Now,
I'm gonna.
all the perks are on second Saturday though, because the trains run. Our
trains.
model trains. We have volunteers that have started from back in the 80s, all this time to run our model train, which the children love seeing this stuff from Sunday from 1 to 4.
Oh,
So,
see, we're going to have to sign
how we
up.
get ya.
Yes, I'm going to have to ride on the train.
Yes.
Yes, I know my son will like that very much as well. So let me tell you guys, we have so much more to discuss and some of the special things within the museum. And so we'll be back with more after this.
You're a lot of different people. But you can be one more.
It doesn't have brute facts, and it doesn't let you just regurgitate definitions.
You search and you search and you search, and you eventually do find some answers, but it's really the search that's so much fun.
One of the big advantages I find here at Austin P is a small class like this, 5, 6, 7 people, we have access to a full professor.
It's a small college, the professors are really engaging, and me and my classmates have a lot of really good discussions.
The professors at Austin P in philosophy are amazing. You have Dr. Randall, Dr. Rochlow, and Dr. Michael, and they all work very, very hard. It's a very small department, but because it's small, it's also very close-knit.
I'm Mark Michael. I'm a professor of philosophy. If you're looking for a challenging program, I would invite you to come and talk to us.
Come on, let's go. On in.
Go.
Let's go. Come on in. Got a lot more room here. Go. On in.
Well, welcome back. We're here with Miss Naomi, or Miss Conner. Please forgive me.
Oh, it's okay.
All right. So, of course, we're talking about the museum, and I'm very excited about the museum. So now we're going to be able to talk about the different aspects within the museum. And I'm very excited about this because I myself got to take a nice tour and walk through. And so this is what I want to tell you guys more about. Okay, so let's talk about the Challenges and Champions Sports Gallery because I myself am a sports broadcasting major.
Oh, very good.
I got that from my undergraduate. So
Okay.
tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, this is an opportunity for you to see different types. Of course, everybody immediately goes to baseball, football, that sort of thing. But we have race cars in there. We have people climbing the walls.
What?
We have a very good exhibit regarding Wilma Rudolph. It tells a little bit about her history and the struggles that she experienced and overcame, Olympic medalist. And, of course, we see her name all over Clarksville. We love our Wilma Rudolph.
Yes,
and then
exactly.
There's also a street luge car, which is insane that anybody would ever do that, but that's to each his own.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
So, very neat exhibit.
Okay, yes, and so with that, I know my guests got to see a picture. So the actual pictures is actually what you'll be able to visually see. Now, I know we won't be able to touch, but we'll be able to really see them not as a picture, but in 3 dimensions.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
yes.
I'm very excited. So we have, like she said, we have the Wilma Rudolph. If you go to the mall, that is the road that you travel upon.
Yes, the very famous
exactly.
Wilma Rudolph.
Or go to, Clarksville Electric. That's still continuing down. So if you ride that all the way down, you'll come to us here at Austin P. And things like that. So I'm very excited about the sports gallery. I can't wait to take that's my son. So let's talk about becoming Clarksville and honoring the legacies of leadership like you discussed earlier. So what does that mean to us here in Clarksville?
Well, the thing about when you had that question, honor, it really means to tell their story. Because if we don't tell their stories, how are we ever going to know about the struggles that they went through, the experiences, to gain the inspiration that we need to move forward? So, like I said, the leaders their names that we still see in Clarksville today, they're the people before them were the ones that made, put forth the wine laws for the Beach Haven. Believe it or not, he was one of the fronters in that. So if we don't tell their story, then how would we ever know the things that we get to experience today, how they fought for those things?
Okay, so you mentioned Mr. Beach Haven. What are some of the other key leaders that you may happen to know that you guys will be honoring there?
Yes, there are 8 different panels that are in the Becoming Clarksville. So I just put a couple of few. Of course, Governor Austin P. Because I don't know if anybody, when you read the panel, you'll find out that in Tennessee there were very few paved roads. So he was the person that led Tennessee to be able to be navigable area.
Be able to
by
navigate
cars.
through.
Yes, there you go. Thank you. Through, with cars and such. So and they say that there's still roads all over Tennessee that are named after him. Yes. There is Anna Mabry Barr, who her husband died in the war, but she decided for the Fort Campbell soldiers that she wanted to take care of, and they actually tried to push her away for that. And she said, if they're not my soldiers in my army, then what good is this? Yeah. So she was known as Aunt Annie, very neat person. There was Lula Epperson, who opened the first women's bank in Tennessee. Oh. So that was, I know, exactly. took care of business.
That's right. That's right.
And then the other one I thought was a really neat story is Dr. Robert, I'm going to mess this up, Tecumseh Burt, who opened the first hospital in Clarksville. Okay. And he was actually an African American who served all races before, everything, the civil rights and stuff started happening. So that was our very first hospital in Clarksville. Wow. So very neat people. Of course, there's more. Robert Penn Warren, who did he started the Renaissance in the American literature. So I definitely encourage this hour to dedicate to read the panels, and you'll learn everything you need to know about Clarksville.
Yes, well, I might need to, do some research and go and do some studying. I might learn some more history. Yeah. So let's talk about the next segment, which I was really wowed by, which is the Lucy Dunwoody Boehm porcelain collection. Yes. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, that collection came about. Lucy Dunwoody, she was an educator here in Clarksville, very active in nature and conserving nature, and gardening. Wow. And so she had collected this beam collection, and he was a famous ceramics for how he fired his ceramics, and so that's what people love about it. It looks so realistic. People travel from all over the world to see this, and so it was donated to the museum in her memory.
Wow, that's awesome. So you mentioned earlier about the Explore
Galleries.
So I'm thinking about adventure. So tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, I almost kind of want to keep it like a suspense story, because you can go inside of a cave. You can do something with bubbles, and then we have a farmer's market, an opportunity to sit and read. So it's a really neat area to take your children. You can sit and interact and have your own conversation with your people that you're with, and then also while your children play.
Okay, so that's key. You want to take them to where they can play, explore. So keep that in mind. So now you mentioned a cave. Tell us a little bit more about this bubble cave.
Well, it is called Bubble Cave, and it is it's kind of a science experiment. You get to go in and make huge bubbles that you can go inside of.
Wow.
And little bubbles, and the kids just have so much fun. And the funny part is that you can have just as much fun.
Yes.
So it's, like I said, a little something for everyone.
Yes. Well, I'm going to be making a whole bunch of bubbles. And
yes.
So with that, with you saying families and things like that, we create memories. So tell me a little bit more about Memory Lane.
Memory Lane is an area that has different wagons. There's a hearse down there, fire trucks, how they used to, you think they're racing down the road today. Well, then you can see them actually on wagon wheels.
Oh my goodness.
So that's interesting. There's a really one that I can't handle. It's the dentist office and the old equipment, and I'm just not interested. I'll be completely honest with that one. There's a log cabin and how it was set up, and then also the tobacco shop. Because when you learn about Clarksville histories, we had a big part in the tobacco industry.
Wow.
And so there's a tobacco shop set up in there. When you go inside, you can actually smell it. It's really cool.
Right, so tobacco, good gracious. I got lots of history to catch up on. Okay, so you were talking, of course, we talked about the porcelain gallery. And so let's talk about the artwork that was, when I first came in, you can see all these beautiful exhibits. And of course, like you said, no touchy touch.
Right.
So tell me a little bit more about the art galleries that we might see.
Well, we have 4 rotating art galleries. Our curator of the arts, Terry Jordan, does a fantastic job. She brings in art, international, regional, national, and then of course local. We have a strong arts community. I don't know if anybody knows that within Clarksville, and a lot of pieces that show nationally and internationally just from our local artists. So she does a fantastic job of putting those shows together. And they rotate every 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
So just because you think you saw something a year ago, it is not the same.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing these rotations. That'll be reason to come visit every month then, because you'll get to see fresh new artists.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about the end of your tour and the very fabulous thing, which is I ran into the Wizard of Oz. So tell us about this Wizard of Oz display and this wonderful thing that you have there.
Okay, well, about 3 years ago, we ran across a traveling exhibit that was showing down in Miami, and it was called The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, and we said, we need that. So it is an interactive exhibit. So you go through it, you can play, you can touch anything that you want.
Yay!
It also is an educational experience. So when you enter, there's a yellow brick road, and on one side is the interactive and the touchy-feely and all that good stuff, and on the other part is a collection from a person who collects all sorts of Wizard of Oz memorabilia from when the movie came out, from Wicked. It's really neat to kind of see how famous that movie was back then, and how it's, you know, through the ages and the preservation and keeping that together.
All right. Well, I am going to have to go and visit this wonderful place, but we'll tell you, go visit it, and we'll be back with more after this.
All right, so you're at the game, cheer like a man, when you realize you're the only one screaming, let's go Pete, and the guy to your right is giving you serious stink eye. And that is exactly why you need to join the Govs Club. For as little as $100, you can get VIP parking and primo seats with loyalty maniacs who will help you cheer, heckle, and high-five your way through every minute of high-flying, heart-pounding, edge-of-your-seat Govs action. Get in the game, get in the Govs Club.
You're a lot of different people. But you can be one more.
What was your excuse?
I couldn't make it to classes on campus.
I didn't want to be the old guy in class, but didn't think I could afford it with my GI Bill benefits.
Work was my excuse.
Austin Peay State University is putting an end to the excuses.
You've been in that desk for years, waiting for the next bell to ring. Now it's time to stretch your legs and your limits. Get up, get moving, get on with your life at Austin Peay.
Come on, let's go. On in. Go. Let's go. Come on in. Got a lot more room here. Go. On in.
Well, welcome back. Today we've been talking to Miss Naomi Conner from our very own Customs House Museum and Cultural Center for her valuable information on and insight on this great place and how participating as a family makes it awesome. And so if you're interested or have any questions, please feel free to contact the Customs Museum and check out their website at www.customshousemuseum.org, or even by email if you want just some questions, and that is customshousemuseum.org. And you can even call them, 931-648-5780. Teaching children the history of Clarksville at any age can develop them into well-rounded adults in the future. And as parents, it is our place to train them and guide them in this portion of their upbringing. So go check it out. Or if you have a place in your local area of programs and activities, if you're not in the Clarksville area, check them out. You have a lot of places within your local community that will help you to get your family involved in the history and the activities that are there. So a special thanks to Miss Naomi Conner,
Thank you.
who, just by the way, everybody, plays a special part in The Wizard of Oz, so you might have to come and check her out. And I want to thank you for watching. I am Florine Hurdle, and we hope to see you next season. Have a super day.